Is President Trump sending out a second stimulus check? What is all this talk about him redirecting money and sending it out in the form of stimulus checks? That's a good question. I've been having some comments about this today, so I wanted to make this dedicated video and talk about this to hopefully clarify everything that is going on and being said. So this video pertains to everybody, but as always, I typically revolve my videos around people in the following categories: low income or no income, SSI recipients, supplemental security income, Social Security recipients, whether it's retirement, disability, or survivors, and VA beneficiaries. But like I said, this literally pertains to basically everybody. But if you're new here, I really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button and let's get right into this and talk about what is this talk about President Trump sending out these stimulus checks, because what the heck, I thought he didn't have the authority to do that. So yesterday, Friday afternoon, President Trump urged Congress to send out this second round of stimulus checks through redirecting $300 billion that they just haven't laying around of unspent money in the coronavirus relief fund. So as we remember, way back in March, they approved the $2.2 trillion CARES Act, and within it, they still have a lot of money that has not been spent. This is what they're talking about. There's $300 billion, well, more than that even, but what they want to do is redirect $300 billion of that to send it out in the form of stimulus checks. So that's what they're talking about here. This is what President Trump's talking about. He says that he wanted to redirect this money unilaterally, but he decided that he would rather have Congress approve it rather than him just doing it by himself. He also said they have this $300 billion just sitting there, and they basically just say, we just need to use it. Let's just use it, and then they get approval. Now, why is this so important, and why is this so different than the current package that Congress is working on that they continue to argue about? Here's the deal why. Like I just said, way back in March, they approved the CARES Act, $2.2 trillion. Within that, they had all this money, hundreds of billions of dollars that they approved for the coronavirus relief fund. Well, there's a lot of money still sitting in there, hundreds of billions of dollars still sitting in there. Well, in the eyes of Congress, that money has essentially already been spent. The reason is because it has already been allocated. So, in the eyes of Congress, they already allocated that $2.2 trillion for the CARES Act. So, essentially, they already are counting this money as spent. So, with this money just sitting there unspent, if they grabbed it and sent it out in the form of stimulus checks, it would be like no big deal, essentially, because it's not asking Congress to approve even more spending. They've already approved it. They just haven't spent it yet. That's the deal. So that's why this is so important, and why it may actually result in a second round of stimulus checks sooner than later, because we don't have to sit on and wait on Congress to approve hundreds of billions of dollars once again to send them out in the form of this stimulus check. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully that clarified it a little bit more. But President Trump has called on Democratic people, like Congress people, the people in Congress who are Democrats, he's called on them to issue a one-sentence statement to allow approval to redirect those funds. So he's basically just saying, hey, Democrats, all I want from you is a one-sentence statement saying, let me redirect this $300 billion and send it out in the form of stimulus checks. That could be pretty interesting. The one holdup that I think we could possibly have with this is Democrats, essentially Nancy Pelosi, has already said that she does not want a piecemeal bill. She just wants basically a one comprehensive package. So I think that could be the one holdup with this whole issue going on. However, if we get Democrats to say, yes, go ahead in that one sentence statement, it could be just a matter of getting that one sentence from the Democrats and then President Trump saying, all right, let's grab the $300 billion and let's just issue those stimulus checks once again. So I feel like this is a huge improvement and possibly a pretty big advancement, considering we've had some government officials talking about these second stimulus checks over the last couple days. This is really important. And now that the fact they're talking about it even more and coming up with creative ideas and ways that they can grab the money to fund this idea and these second stimulus checks, rather than going to Congress and saying, with this next stimulus package, they're sitting at roughly 1.3 trillion for the Republicans and 2.2 trillion for Democrats. Well, just think, what if they could shave off 300 billion on that number and come together a little bit easier? It might make it easier for them to come together on this next stimulus bill. But again, what do most of us care about in this next stimulus package? Most of us just want those stimulus checks. I mean, that's mainly what we're focused on in this next stimulus bill that they're, negotiating out. But the deal is, if we get another round of stimulus checks and it's not included, or they're still hashing out this next stimulus package, who really cares at that point, right? The rest of the bill, basically all of us are just waiting on that next stimulus package so we can grab those checks. That's what everybody mostly cares about. So it's interesting. Also, however, President Trump did not specifically identify where this $300 billion is coming from. However, it is anticipated that $300 billion is coming from unspent money that was allocated for business loans way back in that CARES Act, like I was talking about. So I feel like this is pretty important. It's nice that the president continues to come out talking about this second round of stimulus checks. And, I continue to say this in basically every video. We have both sides continuing to say, even this far out, even in early September, we continue to see both sides approving these second stimulus checks, but yet they're held up on other issues within that stimulus package that we continue to talk about, which is mostly the unemployment benefits, which they are still struggling to agree on. Democrats still want that $600, while Republicans are thinking like $300 to $400, something along those lines. And then the state and local government funding, again, they're hundreds of billions of dollars apart on those two. The state and local government funding, but the fact that they're still coming together on different approvals. They're agreeing on different things here and there. So it's literally just a matter of time, but they continue to drag their feet, which is absolutely ridiculous. And we'll have to see what happens here in the next coming days and weeks. Of course, this is a holiday weekend that we're talking about right now, so there's probably not a whole lot going on. However, I continue to watch all of this because I want to keep all of you, kind of up to date with everything that's going on. I know there's a lot of you out there that watch these videos every single day, relying on me to give you these daily updates. And it's very important to me too, because I'm here for you. I'm your advocate. I continue to claim that role, and I want to continue to be here for you each and every day. Even if we don't have a ton of new information, I want to continue coming back just to show you guys like, hey, I'm still here for you. I'm still watching all this information. And as soon as we get that final approval, that final information, of course, I'll definitely let you know right away. But I feel like this is actually pretty exciting because it could just literally be a matter of Democrats giving that one sentence approval to President Trump, and then he's saying, all right, we got the $300 billion. We have it sitting here. No one has claimed it for business loans. Let's go ahead and send it out. So it could be literally as simple as that. Slapping his signature on a piece of paper, just like he did with those executive orders about a month ago. And then we could possibly be seeing something cooking. So good stuff. I hope you're having a nice day, and hopefully that answers the questions that I've been getting in the comment section down below. Otherwise, if you have any additional questions on this topic, feel free to leave them down below, and of course, I'll do everything I can to answer those. So enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. See you guys.